productivity and health and habits, they're the driver of performance in everyday life. I've got a bunch of knowledge, but I'm not implementing it properly. So I need help. I need accountability. How much you guys look into every area of my life when it comes to health, productivity, work, and habits. You're immersed in each area. You guys just hold your clients to a high standard. My target is $200,000. So in June, I wasn't anywhere near that. But now, this month, and it's only the 19th, I'm at $300,000. I'm also not getting afternoon dips every day.
Reuben, welcome here, my man. Thanks for hopping on this video to do this interview with me. How are you doing today?
I'm good, bro. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to this, man. It's always good talking to you.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit more about what you're currently doing in online business.
So right now, I am working for a software company called Kantata, professional services software company. I'm on the business development side, which means I work in sales. And
Yeah.
I'm also going through a course right now to be a high ticket closer. High ticket closing is selling high ticket products like info products. It could be like real estate packages, coaching packages. Um, and I'm going through a training right now to get into that and leave my job that I'm doing currently. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Mm. I think we started working together back in May or June.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you were how much were you making back then?
So
What were you doing in the beginning?
my base salary was 35K, and at the time I was making zero commission. If I'm honest with you, I was making no commission, um, because I wasn't selling. Yeah, I wasn't selling
Yeah.
at the time. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess so you were into sales. You had a job. So that what's interesting to me to understanding is what like why start working with us? Why invest into getting help? Like instead of getting help with what you're doing now, learn more about high ticket sales, or get a mentor to help you like do your thing. Why invest into improving your productivity, your health, your performance instead of actually getting somebody to help you with your to make more money and scale.
Because I think the things you just mentioned, productivity and health and habits, they're the driver of performance in everyday life. I think that even a construction worker, and this isn't a knock on construction, this is just an example, right? That a construction worker can find real benefit in their day-to-day life through enhancing sleep, eating correctly, and productivity habits, because it is it's like establishing a good internal state. And if your internal state is good, the way in which you interact with your reality around you is going to improve. Relationships, work, productivity, gym, all of it. So that's why I came to that conclusion, and that's why I wanted to get help.
But what made you join the program? Since we mainly work with I guess people who are we work with people who are in sales, who are in marketing, e-com, real estate. So what made you join the program?
I had some information through my interest in health and my biohacking interests, but they were just interests. I knew they weren't being integrated into my life at all. So I was like, there's a problem here. I've got a bunch of knowledge, but I'm not implementing it properly. So I need help. I need accountability. I've got the knowledge. I need help. I need accountability. I need somebody who can also organize the information for me. Organize the information for me in a way that's personalized for me. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to organize the information in a way that's personalized to me so that I can get results that I need to be getting personally.
Mm. And why work with I guess with me with us specifically to get
I
help with
saw,
that?
I saw the first thing I ever saw. I think your Instagram marketing is top notch, because the first thing I saw was you talking about how you need to be careful of what type of chicken we eat. And I was like, I eat a lot of chicken. Let me hear what this guy's got to say. And then you carry on speaking, and then you speak about the environment in which chickens are bred and the exposure to the type of food that they're given. And I was like, I just learned something. Let me see what else this guy on Instagram knows. And I started going through your videos, and I started seeing the wealth of knowledge you have. And then I clicked on your client testimonials, and I saw that you've worked with individuals I'm familiar with in terms of, and when I say familiar, I mean I've seen them online, maybe watched some of their YouTube videos, or I've seen that they have a certain type of online business, and I know they're big in the online business space. People like Jordan Platten, Matt Shields, Thomas Gannett. I was like, I know these guys, these SMMA guys, I know them. I know some of them have moved on from SMMA, but yeah, I know them. And then I saw the testimonials, and I was like, wow, this is impressive. This is very impressive. And then I just wanted to learn more and more and more. So before started to actively engage to start the program, I was going for a lot of your content. I watched your YouTube videos. And then when I watched your YouTube videos, I was like, there is so much free game from your YouTube videos alone. Like, somebody can implement so much practices and habits from your YouTube videos that can really help the quality of their productivity, testosterone levels, health, and focus. So I was like, I wonder what the program's like. Like, the program must be very immersive, very comprehensive, and extremely helpful. So that's why I ended up wanting to sign up.
Mm, that's interesting. So talking about things like performance, testosterone levels, your health, optimizing your health in general. What were the main things or the main issues you were trying to solve by working with us with this program?
So I had a couple of different issues. The main one was consistency at work. Like, at work, not being able to have energy throughout the entire day. Crazy afternoon slumps. There's something I worked in a previous company last year, doing sales still, and every afternoon was just a slump. I was just like, I'm tired, and it would affect my work quality. And I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't selling. So when I first joined the company that I'm at now, I wasn't making commission. Like, I was like, this is not good. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna continue to do this job because I'm not making commission, and I know that I have a long-term plan of being a high-ticket closer. So I need to get good at this first. If I can't get good at this, then high-ticket closing, I need to find a new skill, basically. Also, sleep. Sleep was a big issue for me, massive issue for me. And I realized the way in which sleep would affect my day to day. I could get away with it because I was young, and I think having a sporting background kind of helps. So I could just quote unquote firm it. I was like, I can do this. Like, I don't need to, I can, and I still kind of can, but I know how suboptimal that is. So I knew those were two areas that I really wanted to fix. It's the productivity at work, defeating that afternoon slump so I can put out consistent efforts at work, and also sleep.
Mm, yeah. What were you skeptical about before joining?
I'm a capitalist dream because I'm really easy to sell to. I'm an impulsive guy. If you speak to me in a compelling enough way, I'll buy what you're selling me. I'm one of those people. So if I'm honest, I really wasn't that skeptical. I really wasn't. I think the one thing I was skeptical of, because of, I'm not an online business owner like your other clients. I'm a regular dude. Like,
Yeah.
those dudes are regular as well, but in terms of, I don't run a business. So it's
Mm,
price. I was like,
mm,
I can afford this, but the ROI, the chunk of money this is going to take from my bank account monthly, and how much returns I'm going to get on this, that's what I was concerned about. That was my one skeptical thought.
yeah, we should unpack this, but before we do, like after joining, let's say, right? What were your initial thoughts and expectations, right after joining? Like first couple of days, first week.
I was like, yeah, this is really comprehensive. It over the like. Funnily enough, I've watched Matt Shields' testimonial, and he mentioned that the accountability piece and how comprehensive like the testing was over delivered on that side, and I can attest to the same experience. I didn't know some of the tests that you guys were going to provide me with, and I also didn't know how much you guys look into every area of my life when it comes to health, productivity, work, and habits. You're immersed in each area and you want feedback on each area, and you guys build a plan. You and Nick build a plan for each area. So that is one of the things that I was really pleased with when I was being onboarded.
Mm. Can you summarize, like in 1 minute, what we helped you do by working together?
In 1 minute, I would say you helped me build a serious awareness of what it takes to be a high performer through what to eat, how to train, how to sleep, habits to build and maintain, all built around what it takes to be a high performer so that I can see the goals that I want to see in my own life regarding work. That is how I'd summarize it.
Mm. And what was your favorite thing about working together? Your number one favorite thing about working together?
Uh, the number one thing I loved is that both you and Nick, because Nick was checking up on me constantly. You guys just hold your clients to a high standard. That's what I loved about it. Nick never was, he was very understanding, but he was very genuine. He consistently was like, I know you can do better than this. I know what you're capable of. Just do it. And I think that was very helpful. And it's something, honestly, those conversations with Nick, I don't know if he realizes, I don't think that I'm going to lose those foundations that he gave me ever. Funnily enough, it's weird, since I've left the program, the awareness has just shot through the roof. Like my awareness of everything, there's still so many things I need to work on. But my awareness and my effort to continue to take what you guys have taught me has increased. Like before, it was like before I was trying to consciously put so much effort into things, but now it's sort of become automated in my brain. Like I really understand. I really understand how I can be effective for each workday. What time I need to be sleeping, the things I need to put in place in order for me to get quality sleep. And then also how I need to start my day, what I need to be doing before work blocks, how I need to be tracking my time when I'm doing work blocks. Funnily enough, Nick will laugh, I finally downloaded Rise and I'm able to see how affected I am at work.
Yeah.
What time I need to be eating. All of these things are in my mind. So when I don't do them, it bothers me. And I still have that voice, quote unquote, to say from Nick, like I can do better. So when I'll have times, even this week, when I haven't stuck to it, it really bothers me. And I'm like, you know what, next week I'm going to smash it. I have to smash it because I know what I'm capable of.
That's very good to hear. It's very powerful. Um, so you mentioned that, like now on how this, you were kind of skeptical about the ROI you would get, because obviously mainly we work with online entrepreneurs. So you were kind of like in a different spot. So you're like, yeah, I'm gonna be having all this money living in my bank account for what? What is the ROI? So talk to me about the ROI. Let's say June, you were of like salary 35K as you told me.
Yeah, and not hitting
What
target.
about you're not hitting targets? What about nowadays? How did this affect your ability to do the money generating activities And overall, like your finances after going over the program.
So it is the 19th of October. The month hasn't finished yet, and I am 140% of my target. So I've exceeded my target by 140%. I've improved certain ways in which I'm a salesman. Like I've improved certain aspects of that. But I'm also not getting afternoon dips every day. I'm also able to stay focused on work blocks. I'm also blocking out my time. I feel more present when I'm on the phone, when having conversations with prospects or potential clients. And so next month, my loaded commissions, I think I'm not too sure of off the top of my head, the percentage commission structure, but I know my target is $200,000. And right now, so in June, I wasn't anywhere near that. But now I am this month for the monthly target of October of 200,000, and it's only the 19th. I'm at $300,000 of my at target now. So I've surpassed my target by $100,000. So it's had a big effect, and the commissions at the end of next month are going to be quite good based on me surpassing my target.
So went from not hitting targets. Like, what was your percentage of targets? Like June. What's the percentage? Because now you told me that you're 140%
Yeah.
of the target. And what about back then?
What do you mean? As in, like, how close was I percentage wise to hit the
Yeah,
target?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was far, man. I was far. I was very far because of the way our company works. Um, I get paid in my role at a certain point in the sales cycle. I don't get paid for starting the sales cycle. So I would say in like June, honestly, yeah, it was zero. I wasn't close. I was nowhere near. I wasn't delivering.
Interesting. Overall, how did this affect your energy levels, like your life overall after like your holistic view of how this affected your everyday life and performance? What would you say after like 3 4 months of going through it?
My holistic view has completely changed. Before, like, for example, one of the tests that I did that I think changed the trajectory of my health was the blood test and the gut test. When I took the blood test, I had pretty decent markers in a couple of different areas, but then my lipoprotein B levels were through the roof, 200, and I think the average is 75. And
Are you talking about lipoprotein little a or ApoB?
ApoB, yeah, ApoB, I
ApoB.
think, yeah. The one that is what is it? Correct me. What is the one that is genetically predetermined?
Lipoprotein little a.
Yeah, that's the one that was exceedingly high, and I wasn't aware. Prior to that, my diet was based on what I thought was healthy from Instagram. So eating a bunch of stuff like eggs, red meat. I still eat a bunch of veg and stuff, but I was thinking that red meat is great. And on the surface, it is. But for my DNA, it wasn't. And that's what the blood test gave me. And I realized that if I don't make a change, I'm putting myself at a higher risk as I age of heart disease and heart problems. And then that's when we resynthesized my diet and we looked at ways in which I can have a heart healthy diet. And now, at first, it was like, I hate this because I'm used to eating a certain way and I really like steak. I love steak. And I really like a bunch of other foods that on the surface are high cholesterol, but for me, I shouldn't be eating. And then I did the volume test, the gut health test. And weirdly enough, the gut health test, the foods that I should avoid, those are foods that also don't help my situation with my lipoprotein situation, right? My cholesterol situation, being predetermined to have high cholesterol genetically. So those two meshed. So then I could see, it was easy because of the test to see this is what I should be eating, and this is what I shouldn't be eating. And then I could restructure and base my daily diet off of that. And you guys done that for me. The in the diet plan on the app, it was restructured, and I can see, okay, this is what I should be eating, this is what I shouldn't be eating. It's easy, it was streamlined. So something as big as that, a test which is really hot in the UK with the NHS. Funnily enough, I went. You know what's funny? I went to my GP and I showed him my results, and he was like, "It's meaningless. You're young, fit, and healthy. It's meaningless because
Yeah, whatever.
yeah, yeah, bro just wants me to have a heart attack at 45. Like he just, but yeah, like it was. He just said it was meaningless, but you guys were telling me something very different, and I even went and done a little bit of my own research. And my sister's a naturopathic doctor as well, so she's has a strong understanding of health, and she verified what you guys were saying. And I was like, okay, I really need to take action on this and take action on this fast. And it was easy to do it with you guys. And it's something that I wouldn't have done until I would have had a heart issue when I'm much older, and the consequences are much more serious. So praise God for that.
Yeah, so I have a couple of things to say about that. Now, thing number one is that there is so much content online that people can see and consume, and they just dismiss because it's trendy, it's nice. Oh, steak, eggs, butter, raw. It's
Yeah.
nice content, right? So it's controversial. People click on the content. It gets viral, and so a lot of people will start eating that food without actually understanding their. Let's say, like for example, with you, lipoprotein A, if this is exceedingly high, and since it's mainly genetics, you have to take like a different approach to your diet because you're at a higher risk compared to another person that hasn't got high lipoprotein A levels. So for me, eating more steak and more eggs and more including more cholesterol in my diet would make a lot of sense, would help my testosterone levels, would increase my uh whatever. But for somebody else, it just doesn't make sense, and it's not the most appropriate approach to your diet. So there's no such thing as the most optimal human diet that humans can thrive on. It's actually more so subjective based on specific markers. And also the standard of health today is deviating from what's optimal. Because let's say, for example, testosterone levels. Testosterone levels, the baseline of testosterone levels right now, in order for them to be measured and to create a average range, they take people from, let's say, 18 years old all the way up to 70 years old, and they just test their testosterone levels. So this is the range. So the average of that huge spectrum constructs the average ranges. And so you're comparing your testosterone levels with somebody that is 18 all the way up to 70. And as the generations, as the population becomes unhealthier and unhealthier, the data gets skewed. So the baselines, let's say the average ranges, go lower and lower and lower over the years as the population becomes unhealthier. So, and by the way, a doctor, not all the doctors, but let's say for your experience right now, probably this is what happened, if I may assume. Somebody that wants to make sure their client is healthy in terms of like NHS, their view of baseline health has nothing to do with optimizing health and preventing. And this is something that you will understand if you read Peter Attia's book, which is called Outlive. He talks a lot about medicine 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0, I think. Medicine 3.0 or 2.0. The point is that you go to the doctor, they see your results, they look that you're a tall, jacked guy with a six pack, and they say, "Oh, you're healthy, you're fit, you're good." But so their perspective is, how do I maintain baseline health? How do I not have any diseases right now? Not how do I prevent something 20, 30 years down the line? How do I not die today? Right? And this is a completely different story with optimizing your health. Completely different story. And yeah, this is why we look at all of those different things because, for example, I work with a lot of agency owners, and like also you're in sales, you're very data driven. A lot of the stuff, a lot of the times, in order to be able to make the most appropriate decision for each specific situation, you have to look at the data. And so whenever we're talking about productivity, what times you should go to bed, stress levels, how your diet is affecting your body, your digestion, your brain, your hormone levels, we can't really understand what is the best diet for you, for Reuben, or for Manu, if we don't understand the subjective data and metrics. So this is something that you said that can literally save your life, right? And just because somebody would otherwise never have done this test, because the doctor doesn't really prescribe ApoB or lipoprotein A test because they're expensive and they don't make sense logistically, you are overlooking some important factors that you wouldn't know unless you actually went ahead and tested them yourself. So, yeah, I think this is very very important, and good job for mentioning that as well. Now, last question that I have for you before we wrap up. Let's say somebody that is in a similar situation is like he wants to join, he wants to start working with us to optimize his productivity, focus, performance, energy levels, but he's like looking at the price, or I guess the investment involved, and he's like, okay, that's a decent chunk of money, but for what ROI is that going to be worth it? What would you say to that person that is on the fence and kind of contemplating joining?
I would say establish what you want out of life. So I've established that I'm in my job. I want to be a high performer in my job. But then I also want to be a high performer generally. So whatever I do next, I want to be high ticket closing, where I won't have a manager and I'll be on my own schedule. And it's either I close deals or I lose my high ticket closing job and don't make money. So I would say if your goals mean that you need to perform at a certain level, having a vehicle, having help, having accountability, and having a system that can either instantly get you to a position where you are starting to improve so that the habits become ingrained, and then you can take those habits on, that can give you a baseline to be a high performer in whatever you want to do, then that's a high ROI. That's a very high ROI. You're getting a vehicle that is going to allow you to be the best version of yourself for work and productivity and focus that can drive you towards your goals. If that isn't you and you're just like, no, I've got some problems, but in order for me to get to point B, I don't really need to do all of this, then just don't pay for it. If I'm honest, that's what I would say. I would say, what do you want? Something. And Nick said that to me on countless calls. He was like, what do you want? Yeah, I would say, what do you want? Like, what do you want to do? Because now, the thing is, right, yeah, I've done this for 3 months. But what you've given me, yeah, that stuff I can take for the rest of my life. Even when I travel now, if I have to travel, let's say I'm at a point in my life where work demands that I travel, I have an understanding of, okay, these are the protocols that I need to take so that I can make sure that I'm still focused and be sharp for work. Whereas before I would just wing it, you know? So I think it's the ROI is very high. What you learn for however long they're in the program, what people learn for however long they're in the program, they can take with them for the rest of their lives, which means they have direct access, knowledge, and awareness of how to improve focus, how to improve productivity, and what works for them specifically according to protocols that have been designed for them, which is the ROI there is really high. That's what I'd say.
That's insane. Awesome, man. So, look, thanks for coming up here with me today and sharing all that, because that's a really different perspective from a lot of other people that I've done interviews with. So
Mm.
I think this is a really great POV of how was it like the experience with you.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming and sharing all that stuff. I think it's going to be valuable for a lot of people that are on the fence or wanted to have a different person's opinion on how this helped them. So thanks for that, and
Thank you,
I
man.
hope you guys enjoyed it for sure. And I'll speak to you soon.